So good morning. So in today's lecture, we are continuing with the extended year features. We have seen some features of year. Now we are going to see some extended features of year, that is entity relationship. So first is generalization, next is specialization, and last one is aggregation. These three are called as extended features of year, and we are going to see it one by one. First is generalization. What is meant by generalization? Generalization is like bottom-up approach, in which two or more entities of lower level combine to form a higher level entity if they have some common attributes. Okay, it is called as generalization. Again, I am repeating, what is generalization? It is a bottom-up approach in which two or more entities of lower level combine to form a higher level entity if they have some attributes in common. In generalization, an entity of higher level can also combine with the entities of lower level to form a further higher level entity. Again, generalization is more like a subclass and superclass system, but the only difference is the approach. Generalization uses the bottom-up approach. It uses the bottom-up approach. Okay, with the help of example, we are going to see what is this bottom-up approach, and with the help of example, you also understand what is generalization. So in generalization, entities are combined to form a more generalized entities. That is, subclasses are combined to make a superclass. For example, faculty and student entities can be generalized and create a higher level entity person. So faculty and student, these are the two entities, they can be generalized and we can create a higher level entity called person. Okay, so diagrammatically, generalization is look like this. This is our faculty, it is one entity, and student is one entity. We have combined these two entities and we have formed the one entity, that is person. Okay, and this approach, forming a new entity from the sub entities, are called as bottom-up approach. And this person is a faculty as well as this person is a student. And this is a symbol which indicates it is a generalization. It is a generalization. Again, I am repeating this diagram so that you can understand what is meant by generalization. These are the two entities. First is faculty and next is student. So these two entities we have combined together and formed a new entity. This new entity is called as person. This new entity is called as person. And this approach, forming a higher level entity from the lower level entities, are called as generalization. And diagrammatically you can represent with the help of this diamond, and it is this faculty is attached to this as well as student, and person we have derived new higher level entity from these two entities, faculty and student. So what happened, we can read, how to read this? We can read this like this: person is a faculty as well as person is a student. And this symbol indicates it is a generalization. So such kind of functionality or feature is present in entity relationship model. So as and when required, you have to form this generalization. That is, it's your skill as a database designer to find out generalization, whether generalization is present in the entity relationship model or not. Okay, so this is called as generalization. Again, generalization in another words, same concept. Generalization is the process of extracting common properties from a set of entities. Okay, it is process of extracting common properties from a set of entities and create a generalized entity from it. And create generalized entity from it. It is a bottom-up approach. Okay. Now you can come across the name bottom-up and what is you can understand what is meant by bottom-up. Okay, it is a bottom-up approach in two or more entities can be generalized to higher level entity if they have some attributes in common. So just we have seen student, faculty can be generalized to higher level entity called a person. So in this case, common attributes like person name, person address become a part of higher entity person, and specialized attributes like student fee and become a part of specialized entity student. So diagrammatically, it will look like this. So person is a faculty and student is a faculty. We have formed this person by using this faculty and student. We have done generalized and we have formed the new entity called as person. Okay, so some common attributes of person is part of this sub entity also. Person will have this address and person will have the name. And address and name can be present in faculty as well as student. So these common attributes will be part of the student, faculty as well as student. So student attributes could be the student name, student address, and student fee. Similarly, you can have a for faculty name, faculty address, faculty. If suppose you have department, faculty department. So like this, you can have these attributes. So whatever attributes possessed in this person will be available in this faculty and student entities. So this is again a generalization. Next feature is specialization. So in specialization, one higher level entity can be broken down into a lower level entity. Okay, it is the reverse of our generalization. What happens in specialization? In specialization, one higher level entity is broken down into two lower level entities. So specialization is used to identify the subset of an entity set that shares some distinguishing characteristics. Normally, the superclass is defined first. And subclass and its attributes are defined next. And then relationship set are then added. For example, in employee management system, employee entity can be specialized as a tester or developer based on what role they play in the company. So again, I am repeating this example. In the employee management system, employee entity can be specialized as tester or developer based on what role they play in the company. So this higher level entity employee, you can divide into subparts based on some functionality or specialization. First is tester and next one is developer. Diagrammatically, it will look like this. Okay. This specialization is called as top-down approach. Now you can familiar with the word top-down, from top to down. So this employee entity, we have divided into two parts. We have broken this employee into two parts. First is tester and next one is developer. Okay, so we have done top to bottom approach. So this is called as specialization. This entity employee we have divided based on the specialization into subparts. It is called as specialization. So employee we have divided into tester and developer. So again this symbol is used to indicate the specialization. Again it will form a either relationship. Employee is a tester as well as employee is a developer. So this is the relationship either. Okay, employee is a tester and employee is a developer. Only thing is that how we have divided our entity into subpart that matters. Previously we have seen bottom-up approach. We have combined two entities and form one generalized entity. And now we are seeing one entity divided into subparts, that is top-down approach, that is specialization. Once you go from bottom-up approach, it becomes generalization. Diagrammatically, they are represented the same way, but only thing is that how they have formed the entities, that is the difference between specialization and generalization. So this is the example of specialization. So this specialization will have top-down design process. We designate subgrouping with an entity set that are distinctive from other entities in the set. This subgrouping becomes lower level entity sets that have the attributes or participate in the relationship that do not apply to the higher level entity set. It is depicted by a rectangular component labeled either. Okay, and it is a relationship, is a relationship. Next term is attribute inheritance. A lower level entity set inherits all the attributes and relationship participation of higher level entity set to which it is linked. That is called as attribute inheritance. Just we have seen the example of person and faculty, that is called as attribute inheritance. Whatever attributes of person will be inherited into a faculty. That is called as attribute inheritance. Next feature is general aggregation. Next feature of extended ER feature is aggregation. So we will see with the help of example directly what is meant by aggregation. Consider a ternary relationship project guide. And suppose we want to record evaluation of student by a guide on a project. So it will look like this. This is our entity instructor, this is our entity student, and this is our entity project. And this relationship consists three entities, that's why it is called as ternary relationship. So this instructor guides to the student on the project. This instructor guides to the student on the again I am repeating, this instructor guides student on the project. This is our relationship. Now what we have to do, we have to do the evaluation of the project by the student. Evaluation of the project by the student, sorry, by the instructor. So which entities will play role in the evaluation is, first is instructor, next one is student, and third one is project. So these three entities again play role in the relation evaluation for, that is we are going to evaluate the project and we are forming a new entity, that is evaluation. So how we have formed the aggregation? By looking at this diagram. Okay, this is our generalized diagram which consists of ternary relationship, that is project guide and evaluation for. So relationship sets, evaluation for and evaluation guide, project guide represent overlapping information. Okay, whatever present in project guide will be present in the evaluation for. All the entities will participate in the evaluation for. That's why they are called as overlapping information. Every evaluation for relationship correspond to project guide relationship. Every relationship present in the evaluation for will also present in the project guide, as we have seen in the diagram. However, some project guide relationship may not correspond to any evaluation for relationship. Some part of project guide relationship will not participate in evaluation for. So we can't discard the project guide relationship. Though in this diagram, this is the project guide and this is the evaluation for. All the entities are present for both. Instead of having both, we can have one, but we can't do this because some part of project guide relation will not participate in the evaluation for. So we need both the relations. So what to do? In this case, we have to eliminate this redundancy via aggregation. Okay, so how to do this? Treat a relationship as an abstract entity. Treat this relationship as an abstract entity and allow relationship between relationship. Once you define this a particular relationship as an abstract entity, then next step is allow relationship between relationship and abstraction of relation into new entity. So this is how you have to do the generalization. So diagrammatically it will look like this. Okay, so this is our instructor, project and student. This is one entity. Okay, and this is our, we have formed this entity and relationship between this entity. Okay, so eliminate this redundancy via aggregation without introducing redundancy. The following diagram represents. So what this diagram will represent, a student is guided by particular instructor on particular project. So in this diagram, student will be guided by particular instructor on particular project. A student instructor project combination may have association evaluation. So this whole will have association evaluation for. That is the relationship between this abstract entities and this entity, evaluation for. And this is how you have to do the general aggregation. This is called aggregation, that is combination of few entities. We have combined this whole three entities with the relationship and it becomes a one entity. It becomes a one entity. Try to understand this. And then this entity, this is abstract entity, will participate in the relation evaluation for, and it will do evaluation for having attribute evaluation. So all these three will participate, that is instructor, project and student will participate in the relationship evaluation for with evaluation. So this is called as aggregation. So next is real world problems. Just I am going to continue this by giving the assignment. Okay, now we have come across all the things and now you are able to draw the ER diagrams, and you should identify the different entities, the attributes of the entities, and you can find the relationship. Once you do this, once you exercise this, you can draw the ER diagrams. So next point is real world problems, and I have find out the real world problems from the book, and I am giving this as an assignment number 3. So first one problem is construct an ER diagram for a car insurance company whose customer own one or more cars each. Each car has associated with it 0 to any number of recorded accidents. Each insurance policy covers one or more cars and has one or more premium payments associated with it. Each payment is a particular period of time and has associated due date and the date when the payment was received. So this is the problem statement, one real world problem statement of the car insurance company, and whatever entities, whatever operations you have to carry out in the car insurance, which is mentioned in the return statement in this problem statement. So what you have to do, you have to find out the entities, you have to find the, once you find the entities, you have to find out the attributes. Once you find entities and attributes, you have to find the relationship between the two entities, and then you have to find out the mapping cardinalities, that is one to one, one to many. So everything is mentioned in this problem statement. So you have to go through, read it 2-3 times and try to retrieve the entities first. Once you find out the entities, then your task is easy and you can form the relationship between entities, as well as you can get the attributes by reading this problem statement. So this problem statement is for roll number 401 to roll number 412. So this student has to complete this problem statement as an assignment number 3. As an assignment number 3. So next problem statement, construct an ER diagram for a hospital with a set of patients and a set of medical doctors. Associate with each patient a log of various tests. Each patient will have various tests, that is log of various tests means which test has been done on that patient, and examinations conducted. What are the different examinations are conducted by the doctors. In this problem statement, they have mentioned you have to draw the ER diagram for the hospital, and they have mentioned 2-3 statements. about the hospital. Few things you have to assume, and accordingly you have to find out the entities, you have to find out the attributes, relationship, and then once you do this by looking at all these entities and relationship, you can easily map the cardinalities: one to one, one to many, many to many, many to one, and so on. So this problem statement is for roll number 413 to roll number 424 as an assignment number 3. Next is design a database for automobile company. Okay, design a database for automobile company to provide to its dealers to assist them in maintaining customer records and dealer inventory, and to assist sales staff in ordering cars. They have elaborated the operations of this automobile company. Each vehicle is identified by vehicle identification number. Each individual vehicle is particular model of particular brand offered by the company. For example, XF is a model of car brand Jaguar and of Tata Motors. Again, they have mentioned each model can be offered with a variety of options, but an individual car may have only some of the available options. The database needs to store information about the models, brands, and options as well as information about individual dealers, customers, and cars. Your design should include an ER diagram, a set of relational schemas, and a list of constraints, including primary key and foreign key constraint. So they have given you have to design a database for automobile company. They have mentioned different operations. By reading this problem statement, first you have to identify the entities, then find out the attributes, and then find out the relationship. Once you do, we can easily identify the keys, primary key and foreign key, among the different relations. So this is a problem statement for from roll number 425 to roll number 436. So all the students present from roll number 25 to roll number 36, those students have to solve this problem statement as an assignment number 3. Next problem statement: design a database for worldwide package delivery company. Okay, this is the company, worldwide package delivery company. For example, DHL or FedEx. Okay, these are the package delivery companies. The database must be able to keep track of customers who ship items and customers who receive item. Some customers may do both. So you have to do track of both the customers who ship the item as well as who receive the item. So they have given some information. Each package must be identifiable and trackable. So the database must be able to store the location of the package and its history of locations. Locations include trucks, planes, airports, and warehouses. Your design should include an ER diagram, a set of relational schemas, and a set of constraints, including the primary key and foreign key constraints. So again, in this problem statement, you have to design the database for a worldwide package delivery company. Give any name to the company, for example, DHL or FedEx. And they have given some information over here. Once you read it 2-3 times, you can understand which are the different entities we require to form a database for this package delivery company. And once you identify the entities, you can do rest of the things easily. So this is the problem statement for roll number 437 to roll number 448. So next, design a database for an airline. The database must keep track of customers and their reservations, flights, and their status. Seat assignments on individual flights and the schedule the routine of future flights. Your design should include an ER diagram, a set of relational schemas, and a list of constraints, including the primary key and foreign key constraints. Okay, so again, in this problem statement, you have to design the database for the airline. They have mentioned some few details about it. Sometimes you need to assume some details to form a database. So again, same thing, read this problem statement 2-3 times, understand the entities, understand the attribute, then form the relationship, and then you can easily identify the mapping cardinalities as well as different keys in the relationship. And this is the problem statement for roll number, from roll number 448 to roll number 458 as an assignment number 3. So I'm going to stop over here.